All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life Between the Sticks with Cody Cropper. As always, your host, Brandon and Cody. We got another Minnesota guy, another teammate, former teammate, I guess I should clarify, on the pod. Who we got?
TEAL Bunbury. Right. You know, what a guy. One of the nicest guys in the league, for sure. In my opinion, I don't know what others would say about him, but I know for a fact he's a good friend, close friend, and a very well-respected player throughout the league. So welcome, TEAL.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. This is awesome. Love what you guys are doing. I think this is just what this league and just the soccer community out there needs. So honored to be a part of this. Let's get into it.
All right. No pressure, kicking it off. Appreciate that. But this will be good. We get a little forward goalkeeper action. I'm sure the dynamic will be great. TEAL, we were kind of laughing a little bit before the pod. So obviously you and Cody played New England Revolution together. I always ask this. I never remember. Did you guys chop it up in Minnesota too?
No, we miss each other. I'm a little bit older and he got, too cool for school. So he left Minnesota and, jumped the pond a little bit, had some fun over in England. Yeah. And so I was just hanging out back, in good old Minnesota during that time.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, that's right. We, I mean, at least I knew of TEAL. We never played against each other, but we knew each other. And, it's funny. It's a small world. We end up at New England together. And, little do we know, like our careers probably could have crossed paths at many different points. Like even in like youth soccer days, probably at the same tournaments and like didn't recognize one another or whatever it might have been. It's just like one of those things where at the time you don't know, but you get to talking when you're together and all of it starts to add up.
Yeah. When you have that common ground being from Minnesota, I think a lot of people that are from Minnesota, whenever they find someone from Minnesota, it's just like, brings so much joy. I don't know if other states have that as much as like Minnesota has.
Yeah. I'm sure they've got the data out there about how many pros are from Minnesota, but part of it is just because there's not many because of our weather. Just makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah, so I think you guys get extra credit for making it pro in such a diverse weather climate, I'd say. We're laughing about this like a little bit for the pod, TEAL. 348 career appearances in the MLS, which is wild. And it's a badge of honor. And then you got to stand next to Dax, who's at 449. I love the quote. Someone after the game's like, hey, man, you thought about retiring? And he's like, of course I have. Like, I'd be crazy not to. So, I mean, you guys got like the double vet status in the locker room. There's nothing that you two haven't seen, huh?
Oh man, I feel like I've seen a lot, but man, Dax, he still is coming with so many stories that, I mean, I think 2006, I think was his first year in the league. Mine was 2010. So he's got a good few years there. But yeah, I mean, the testament of being able to play that many games, and a majority of those are starts too. And those don't include, I think, MLS Cup, Champions League, Open Cup, playoffs, whatever that is. It's kind of crazy how many games he's had. So it's, I don't think many people will catch those type of numbers, but I mean, I'm glad that I'm there, but not really, he's like here, I'm like trying to get there, but I don't think I ever will,
And a lot of miles on those legs. Like Cody, you've seen him. He's a midfield. He's an engine guy or plays an attacking, like no offense, not saying it's different, like goalkeeper, center back, where it's maybe a little bit different. No, he's box to box and that type of a guy.
Yeah.
National team too. We probably didn't even put that in there.
Yeah. Those games too. You're right. Yeah. A lot of miles. And I mean, and he's just a top guy in the locker room too, which makes it great, and he's been like a captain on pretty much every team he's been on too. So that's just, that's,
that speaks volumes to not only the type of person he is, but the type of player he is, the type of leader he is, everything. Just to be, all of it. Yeah. I mean, it's full circle, really.
Yeah, it's great being, obviously we all try to, have banter with him, joke with him in the locker room, being the old guy and whatnot. But our team it has a lot of like older players, we have a very senior team. So not many people can like joke with each other about age, because, you know, about 10 to 12 of us are like in our 30s. So it's funny.
That's funny. That is funny. And honestly, that's something that I've recognized, like watching you guys and watching the way the organization has built the team. Obviously, I think they've done that on purpose so that there is that experience when it comes down to those final games of the season, or when you guys get into the playoffs. You guys have all the experience that you would need to, you know, grind through a playoff game, close out a game, you know, see out extra time, whatever it might be. You know, you guys have everything that you could need, plus then the energy of youth.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you about like getting to the playoffs and grinding those out, but I think it's just the longevity of a season, knowing that, you know, when you're 10 games into a season and maybe some results aren't going your way, I think majority of the guys that have been in the league realize, hey, let's not, you know, hit the abort button, you know, exactly. It's still early. And so I think having that kind of a lot of level-headedness, keeping each other in check, and also a lot of accountability. I think this group has a lot of accountability, which is huge. And in particular, when you have a lot of veteran players, you want to make sure everybody's still on the same page, because you might think that, hey, I've gotten to this point in my career and now I know what's best. You know, I think it's nice when you have everybody still on the same page, even though different people have accomplished different things.
For sure.
So real talk, was the mustaches and media day thing, or is everybody rocking this? Because your starting lineup, my word, the facial hair is super Nashville, huh?
Yeah, no, it was, we were in preseason, and a few of the guys were like, I think Dax actually, started it, was like, yo, I'm going to do a mustache. Anybody else want to do it? And guys just started saying, sure. So we knew when that picture was going to be. I don't think I have a mustache, but it's hard for me to grow any. Yeah, it's hard for me. Yeah, I can't really grow much hair. So a little envious. But Jacob Schaffelberg has got the best. He's got the mullet.
Oh,
he had the mustache.
We've talked about him. Like the guy who's that lifeguard from Stranger Things. He's kind of got that 80s style. And I was just laughing, thinking of like what Schaffelberg and McCarty, like they sit in the locker room. They're like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
What's up? Like, do we have anything in common?
No, the age gap and you know, where he's from. No, it's different. But we have a really good locker room. Good.
Well, let's kick it off then. A little bit of match action. Nashville. You guys are at home at your rocking stadium. I'm new to MLS. The opening day game of the season. Holy shit, Neil. I was like, I'm a Nashville fan. This is so cool. Yeah. The energy, the electricity. I'll tell you what, there's something about those yellow kits too. Just it adds more energy to it as well. But I love the stadium and everything you guys got going on in Nashville. Obviously, you've seen it, you know, in its entirety. But the team showed up 3-0 over Chicago. Got a manager sacked, which we can talk about later potentially.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it started. All right, it's happened. But we'll focus on the game for now. 3-0 in the sun. Chicago obviously having a bit of a rough season, but how was it for you guys? Did the game plan go the way you were thinking? Any surprises?
No. I guess the surprises were a few of the players who started were kind of surprising to us. It seemed like they were maybe resting some players for their potential Open Cup game. So it kind of threw us off a little bit. Didn't know if they were going to go in a back five or back three. But it seemed like they were going for a pretty conservative group and to try to sit back a little bit. And for us, our game plan was, okay, we're going to start these games off with a 4-4-2 diamond, and we're just going to try to put the opposing team under a lot of pressure. And I feel like that played perfectly for us. They didn't really build out. They really couldn't get anything going. And even if they did get a little bit of momentum, we kind of stamped it out pretty quickly. So on the flip side, I think we got fortunate. We got a PK. So it was only 1-0 at half, but I think we can do a little bit of a better job of kind of, when we know we kind of have a team where we want them, to get that second goal and that third goal a little bit sooner than kind of waiting for that second half.
Yeah. And that's always the challenge, right? Is when you're in a game and you guys as a team feel super confident and like things are going your way. It's not like you pull your foot off the gas, but you feel content, almost like And then you realize, okay, well, we need that second goal to just put the game away. But you've already like gotten into that like mode of we're going to win this game, or the opportunities are going to come and we're going to score. And then you don't score and you're like, oh crap, we need to start capitalizing on those opportunities.
Exactly. Because what happened was in halftime, they kind of made some adjustments. I think Jimenez came in. And he just started playing a little bit higher up and finding these like little gaps. So started the second half. They first half didn't really have any shots. Boom, within 7 minutes, I think they already have 2 shots on goal pretty early on. Yeah. And that can build momentum for a team right then and there. Fortunately, you know, Joe made some good saves, and, you know, one of the shots wasn't the best. It was kind of maybe a half chance, but still. And then we were able to, you know, get another penalty and then kind of put the team away. Yeah. But I think for us as a group, we could do a little bit of better job of starting second halves when we know we have a team kind of where we want them.
We talked a lot about that this season. The first half stoppage time goals, there have been a lot. Obviously, you guys getting the penalty right before going in halftime. You know, we're kind of glossing over the fact that Mukhtar had a hat trick.
Yeah, I know.
Couple of pens helps.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. How important is Hani to the game plan that you guys, you know, execute every week? Obviously he's an MVP candidate almost every year. Yeah. And I think this year he has 6 goals and 5 assists already.
Yeah.
In, 9 or 13 games?
Yeah. 11 games maybe we have.
11.
But still.
We finished 11.
Yep. Yeah, 11. Obviously, I mean, he's the first maybe 5 or 6 games he was playing more, you know, up top. Yeah. But now he's kind of in that when we go to that 4-4-2 diamond, he's kind of underneath, which I think helps us a lot more because he can get on the ball a lot more instead of staying so high. Even though he loves being close to goal, obviously he can score, but him just getting on the ball more, closer to midfield, stretching, you know, the opposing team's defense and midfield, it just helps us out a lot. So he's a huge focal point. But we also have a team that everybody wants to work defensively, and it's really hard to break us down. So I think that helps tremendously.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. Go ahead, Cody.
That's something I would say, like, when I watch Nashville play, you know that every player on that field is, 1, going to work hard, run their socks off, and 2, you guys are well drilled defensively. And it's going to be an absolute dogfight to break you guys down.
Yeah, I think the only time, I mean, obviously there's going to be special players and special moments, whoever we're playing, that can kind of unhinge us. But I think the majority of the time we are letting ourselves down when a team kind of breaks us down, whether it's we're a little bit slow, we're not communicating, someone just, you know, messes up on the day or something like that. But I think we work on it a whole lot. So that's something we should be good at.
And as a striker, I'm sure that drives you absolutely bonkers, because that's the last thing you as a striker or any striker that I've ever met throughout my 14 or 15 years wants to be doing on a day-to-day basis in training, is working on the defensive side of the game.
I know, but I think for me, this I've always had not my whole career have I been a number 9. You know, in New England in particular, played a lot as a winger. So I had to, you know, be a defender as well. So I think that's helped me come here and be like, I've always had that defensive like mindset of like, okay, if that's what I got to do, then I'm going to do that for the team. I'll do whatever it takes, you know, to win. I don't care. Obviously I love scoring, love all that, but I'll do whatever it takes to win. So that has helped, but yeah, it is a lot of, you know, defending stuff. And obviously I want to score goals. I want to be closer to the other goal, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
Well, it helps when you've got just those pace merchants around you with Mukhtar and Schaffelberg back. Obviously, had a little bit of an injury. He's there. I watched a lot of this because I knew we'd be chatting with you. And like I said, I think you guys are fun. We had Jamie Watson on recently, too.
Oh, yeah, he's the best.
He has a ton. We were talking about how you guys actually do. I think you've conceded the fewest amount of goals in the league this season.
Oh, have we so far?
It's pretty close. You got 6.
I think maybe we have 6 against. Yeah.
That's it, man. The next best is 8. So you guys are leading.
Who has 8?
Let's see. Goals against 6. LAFC's conceded 8, and so have Houston Dynamo. And
but last week,
Seattle.
Last week or 2 weeks ago when we spoke to Jamie, LAFC had only conceded 6 as well. I think you were both tied on 6.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just
obviously the clean sheet helps.
Yeah. Does clean sheets.
The resiliency.
Clean sheet SC.
It is. But yeah, you guys are a fun team to watch. And to talk about the hard work. I don't know. Have you watched any of the matches on the Apple TV? How it's in like 1080p streaming?
Yes, I have. Recently, I was watching some of the Seattle and Sporting game.
Shocker. We'll get to that.
Was on there. Yeah.
My man, I read every word that came out of your mouth when you got cautioned.
Yo, I mean, that's not a foul. How could that be a foul?
I agree. A center back. Right?
I was pretty upset. Yeah, like because here's
you weren't that rude. To be fair, kudos to you. I
was just really loud and animated. For sure, it was aggressive. I was very aggressive. I'm usually not like that. Maybe in training, CC's.
I was gonna say. Hold on. I was gonna say.
In training, you've seen it.
You've seen it. Games, you're
right.
Very,
I take that back.
Yeah. Very intense.
But if
off the field, not so much.
Yeah, no, it's not that serious. No, but like if the defender bodies me, I guarantee you the ref 99% of the time won't call it. You know, so it's.
I wouldn't say you bodied him either. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like that bad. It was just like, you know.
I watched it and I was like, that's unfair. But the rep, man, he was quick on that caution too.
You get booked for being stronger and being faster and putting your body in the right position.
I think he booked me for my reaction, which I apologize to the ref.
It is dissent in the stats here, but yeah, it was just like they zoomed in on you perfectly, and like
everyone was sending me pictures and I saw it.
Anyways,
not a good look.
No, trust me, we've seen a lot worse. But anyways, Chicago, as we were talking about, a little bit of a rough streak. I mean, if we're just gonna be honest with them, they are in 14th out of 15th in the East. With only 2 wins on the season. So they have made a coaching change, gentlemen. Excuse me here. They weren't the only one, but we'll start here. Hendrickson is his 2nd season, and a lot of people kind of surprised, felt like the players were backing him. But the sporting director, Heights, came out and said that essentially he's going one way, we're trying to go a different way, and we're just no longer he's having a good relationship. And they made the change early. So we're match week 11 in, Cody, and the as they like to say, the managerial merry-go-round has kicked off.
It has started. Yeah. For me, I know
about this. Sure. Your manager just got sacked.
Yeah, our manager just got fired as well. So
really?
It's starting. We're not even 10 games in. So, and we've, fired our manager. Very interesting. That said, I don't think Hendrickson deserved to go. I know they haven't been a winning organization under Hendrickson. However, you look at the statistics from their, big name players, their DPs, they have 0 goals and 0 assists from all DPs on roster this season. For me,
that's shocking.
That's shocking. He's not making those signings. The technical director, GM, soccer president, whatever you want to call the role, is making those decisions. And I think it's, we've both been at clubs where we've seen that coaching change happen, and it's almost like, okay, so the GM or whatever you want to call him is making that change to protect himself right now. And it's only like it could only be a matter of time before ownership steps in and goes, well, maybe this is your fault.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously it's tough being a coach and a GM, even a technical director, all that. But
absolutely,
I thought maybe this was a little soon. Personally, I think that, like you said, the DP's not performing. That's challenging. Is he the ones making those signings? No. I always feel like it's early.
I would say yes. I just want to point this out because in the article it says this. Their sporting director, I'm pretty sure, is Swiss. So if that is true, and he signed Xherdan Shaqiri, who is a Switzerland international.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I always say give at least try to get it to the summer, like around July.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, the league's changing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I feel like the league's changing where they're like, if it results now or we'll get someone new, which I don't know, double-edged sword, really.
Yeah. And I was just going to say the same thing. It is becoming a very results-driven league rather than, what it has been in the past.
Who do you know?
Yeah. That sense of like nepotism is now gone or is on its last legs. And it's now becoming, okay, we need to win. And Chicago has been in a position where they've needed to win for the last 3 or 4 years. And whatever they've done, it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of desperate.
Stat for you. So OptaJack, which is their OptaStats American account, says only one of Chicago Fire's last 8 permanent head coaches dating back to 2007 remained with the team for at least 3 full seasons. That was Veljko Paunovic, who did 4 seasons from 2016 to 2019. It is a revolving door. Chicago do not have a front of shirt sponsor. Chicago moves stadiums. They rebrand. Unfortunately,
and then rebrand again, I think.
Yeah.
One of the legacy teams back in the OG 96, and they can't get it together, and it hurts. It just hurts that they just seem to be in such a long-term disarray, and we'll have to figure it out. Cody, to your point, Ezra had a 13 win, 19 loss, 14 draw last season, so roughly 500. And of course, the guy who fired him said, "Hey, man, it's not his fault. It's on me." Well, you still have your job, so it's a little bit of perks of the job there. Anyways, I want to take a real quick break. Cody, you brought another friend to the pod. You've got Owen back.
Always.
What did you bring this time?
Vanilla Elite Pro. One of my favorite protein shakes, 32 grams of vegan protein. So it is, 100% plant-based, 0 net carbs, non-GMO, 100% gluten-free, no dairy, soy, wheat, or gluten. For me, being a pescatarian with vegan tendencies, or a flexitarian, as my wife likes to call me, this is a great way for me to get the added protein that I need post-training or, post-match.
And you just shotgun it, right? You just
house it, especially in these cardboard containers. I can just crush it,
I love it. Look,
why not?
I'm not vegan, but I would say, especially people have stomach issues or sensitive stomachs and things like that, start here. Or if you're new to it, is a very easy way to get into it. So again, link in the description. Save some money with Cody's code Owen. Only what you need, friend of the pod. All right, gentlemen, moving on. Toronto 0, New England Revolution 2. Look, we've been avoiding the Revs. We're like, hey,
we have been.
We'll kick it another week. They'll trip up. No big deal. Nope. All right. We'll kick it another week. They are done. They have demanded that we talk to them. They are in first place of the Eastern Conference for a few weeks now. They're on 24 points, 11 games played, 7 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws. Fortress at home, undefeated 4-0-2. A stadium to which Cody says he does not love playing in, but clearly either does anyone traveling there. So, Cody, where do you want to start? The fact that Bob Bradley's Toronto are massively underperforming yet again. They are in 13th out of 15th in the East, or the fact that the Revs are just putting a run together.
I mean, let's start with the Revs and how amazing of a season they're having following not even qualifying for the playoffs last year. I mean, I don't know. Is it down to Bruce? Is it down to maybe the impact of having Carles Heel back for an entire season? I don't know. You tell me, Teal. Is Carles that important?
Well, yeah. Number one, yes.
Of course.
Carles is. But, I mean, they were always going to figure it out, Yeah, we have, I got so much love for the Revs and in particular, a lot of guys on that team, the organization and whatnot. Obviously we could sit there and talk about Gillette Stadium and turf and how great it would be to have a proper stadium down, in Seaport or close to Boston. I think everyone agrees with that. That's not like a hot take or anything like that. That's just the truth. But I think they're doing everything right. They are getting goals from everybody. They're solid defensively. Obviously you got Matt Turner, who was there before, and they replace him with someone who's just right there, I think, with him, or just is dominating. And I think that's extremely helpful. You got a few veteran players on that team, like Andrew Farrell, obviously, who we know well, CC. And he was injured for a bit, but he's just someone who you need in the locker room to have that leadership role and to kind of bring this team together. Matt Polster, I think one of the most underrated players in the league. And
agreed.
Yeah, they Bruce, he's not a big tactics guy, but he's a player manager and he's taking care of business.
You know what I heard? Agree. I heard that when super mean, strict Brad Friedel came in, all Bruce had to do was loosen up the dress code and turn that ship around.
And what do you know? No,
it was good seeing.
We went 11 unbeaten after that happened. By the way, it was a fascinating turn of events.
Yeah, pair of joggers, and it worked. Bob and Bruce dapping it up for the game. A couple of icons in the U.S. Soccer landscape, obviously college to pro to national team, and still doing it at that level. They're a couple of just the OG goats when it comes to U.S. soccer top down too. So I think there's always a couple of extra cameras in the stands, when these two are there. But Cody, I look through this, and again, I'm getting flashbacks, right? I see Bobby Wood on the lineup. I see Josie Altidore coming in. You're like, holy shit, U.S. soccer flashbacks all over again. But I'm happy to see the guys are in there scoring and doing their thing still. Like good on them for as much as they've given to U.S. soccer and stuff, doing it the hard way in New England. They're industrious.
Yeah, they are. They are very industrious. And I think that the first goal kind of shows that. Obviously, Bobby Wood presses, takes the ball off of a Toronto turnover or Toronto mistake, and kind of just slots it home, right? He presses well and he's clinical in front of goal, and it's a very industrious goal in terms of the ability to recognize the moment and take advantage of the opportunity.
I was looking at the lineups here too, Teal, on Toronto's side, right? Spent a lot of money. Obviously, Sean Johnson, the big summer move, especially from the goalkeepers union. They always had Insigne and Bernadeschi. So Insigne's just back. CJ Sapong, great front line that you'd imagine, but it's almost the second year in a row that it's I don't know why it's not clicking in Toronto. Great market, great coach, some great players, but for whatever reason, it just is. And I think it's really kind of just confusing people and like catching us by surprise, being like, nope, just one more week. We've seen flashes, one more week, and it just hasn't come good for them.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, to be honest, because there's a lot of times where you could see a team, you could look at the paper, you could see, okay, they spent X amount of money. These are top players. You would think it'd be a cohesive group. Obviously, we're not in the locker room. We don't know what's going on, but they have the ability. They have the talent. And with CJ just getting there too, I think he's going to bring a lot to them inside the locker room too. I think that'll help. And, I'm always rooting for certain players to kind of turn things around. But yeah, Toronto, it's a strange one where you always think they have a group that should be every game where you're like, oh, we're playing TFC. Oh man, this is going to be a challenge. Where at this point, I don't really see that from many teams. And I don't know how you solve that. Obviously Bob Bradley is a tactician, and, watching this game against New England, they created some chances. They weren't clinical, I think, in the final third, but it seemed like, Bruce had a game plan and it worked.
Yeah. Is that kind of like a good way to break it, Cody? Is Bruce is the put your arm around the shoulder of the player's manager, and Bob's the X's and O's, get the board out, move the magnets around?
Yeah, I think personality wise, I would say so. However, I know having played for Bruce, and I think Teal would even agree with this, is Bruce may be the arm around the shoulder kind of guy. However, Bruce has guys that
admirals.
He has his generals and his admirals that do all of the tactics for him, right? He has Richie, he has Dave, he has Kurt, even to an extent, that do all of that, and he manages the players, and it's effective. Obviously, I've never played for Bob, so I can't speak to Bob. I do know just through the grapevine that he's very tactician-like, very tactical, loves to have a good game plan. However, it just doesn't seem like those game plans have either one worked or two aligned with maybe the player personnel that they have there. I can't speak to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we'll continue to watch and see.
Yeah.
I think, again, people are ready for it to click for them. Maybe they just need a bye week or something like that to hit reset. So
they're waiting. I think the fans in Toronto are definitely waiting. However, it's one of those where we talked about it before the podcast or before we started recording. Is there pressure on Bob? At this point, with the money that he spent or the position that they are in, which is, as Brandon, I think you said, 13th out of 15th, and the only two teams below him or below them have just fired their head coaches. So it's is this the next club that makes
domino
that decision? Yeah, is this the next domino to fall?
Isn't it kind of like the Bruce and the Peter Vermes situation where it's like, I don't know, he can go as long as he wants. Obviously, at some point there could be a tipping point, but Teal, man, that'd be a big move for a GM to say, "See ya, Bob."
I think. I mean, the pressure aspect. Yeah, I think he's under pressure. Sure. I don't know if that means he's under pressure, like he's going to get sacked. Fully. I think that he's got to start getting results here. But yeah, when you bring up Peter Vermes and Bruce, both what they have though is they're also not only are they coaches, but they're technical directors. So they're who's really they have almost full control. So they kind of get a little bit more leeway. And granted, Peter Vermes has been, so successful for so long, and obviously last year was a challenging year. They put something together towards the end of last season. But this year, it's been challenging for Peter Vermes. But yeah, sorry, back to Toronto. Yeah. Hot seat, I don't know. Pressure, yeah, I would say.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, we'll get to Mr. Vermes here in a little bit, but real quick, pit stop: Vancouver 3, Minnesota United 2. Lights out game, punch for punch in this one. A lot of goals, which was fun, and a lot of kind of just exciting play. Again, as Minnesota United, they were the last unbeaten team in the league, but then they kind of had a little bit of a stumble. Vancouver, obviously, Cody, this, being with the team last season, just missing out on the playoffs at the very end of the season to Minnesota. But now Vancouver 7th and Minnesota 8th in the West. They look like two of the much more stable clubs, which, again, Minnesota being in my backyard here, and me, after one appearance, becoming best friends with Zarek as far as anyone's concerned. But how surprised are you with Vancouver? They made a couple signings. You know what the gaffer's up to over there? Surprised? Yeah. There's goals this season.
I am surprised. I was there last year. We were a very hit or miss team throughout the entirety. Yeah. We were very inconsistent. That said, they did go out and make a few signings. And I think that those signings have played a pivotal role in where they are this season. Obviously, they set a record shutout streak or record clean sheet streak, however you want to phrase it. I think it was like 450 minutes, something like that. And they set it in this game, and then obviously conceded at some stage throughout. But they are tied for the most points in the previous 5 games with 11, and they've outscored their opponents 9-2, and those 2 goals that they've conceded were obviously in the Minnesota game. So they're doing something right. I don't know what's changed.
Tell me you're not paying attention to your former team without telling me you're not paying attention. You got all the stats,
of course,
man.
I am. Of course. I obviously
that ton of friends there.
Ton of friends there. Obviously, speaking to like Julian Gressel, Brian White, Sebastian Berhalter, all these guys, they're all very happy with how things are going there, and rightly so after, I guess, the inconsistency of last season.
Yeah. Teal, Vancouver or Minnesota, anything standing out to you with these 2 teams?
That's the thing. Nothing in particular am I like, oh wow, for either team, but I think the consistency. I think it was maybe last year, Minnesota, there were some like ups and downs, but they were finding ways to get results. And I think this year, they're having a average season. I think their home record hasn't been too good. I don't know if they've won at home yet. So the flip side is getting results on the road in this league is so crucial.
So critical.
So that's something that like they could be, happy about, positive about, but if they could shore up that home form, they're going to be a team that's going to be in the thick of it come,
for sure.
I don't know, July, August.
I also think a major key is not to this stage of the season, not having Reynoso.
Yes.
And his impact on that team. And obviously
back?
who's back, right?
Yeah.
I think from the outside looking in, everybody has their own perception of Adrian Heath. I am curious to see how not only he, but the upper management in the club handle Reynoso's return, because he essentially held out and then was found or then arrested for what? For
legal issues.
Legal issues.
Yeah,
assault
I don't
battery,
know. I'm not going to get into
battery.
that. I don't know it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I don't know anything about that.
In his home country of Argentina, I don't think was allowed to travel at some stage, but now is back, cleared of all charges, according to the Argentinian newspapers. And it's like, okay, so how does he reintegrate into the team?
Well, here is the delicate situation, Teal, that a lot of sports franchises find themselves in. The one guy you've been missing, whether it's for good reasons or bad reasons, is back, and it turns out you could use him. So we don't know what his fitness is going to be like, how long it takes, but they are in that sticky little situation, you're right, where it's like, man, what would really help this team? Reynoso.
Yeah. So true. I think they'll figure it out, and he's a top player. They usually figure out ways to get them back integrated as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And I think because of his positive impact on results and on the team, just from a player standpoint, they're going to find a way to reintegrate him. It's just a matter of how and when.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to stop. Should I turn this light on?
You can try.
Is this like weird? Is this weird that it's just like, the sun went down and now
I can tell. Sorry. And this happened. This happens to me.
It's all good. No stress.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if this is going to be weird now. It's going to be too bright.
What a closet, by the way. Nice big walk-in, huh?
Yeah. It's
that
Nashville. Too bright there now? Is it annoying?
No,
you're good.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
That Nashville life is nice, though.
We love Nashville, man. We love it. It's a lot more expensive than I thought, though. Coming from Boston to here, it's just like, and it was crazy when we came. Sorry.
Well, someone's got to subsidize those bachelorette parties.
Exactly. It's Broadway.
Yeah. Dang it.
All right. All right. Well, the last one I want to talk about, guys, this has to be the match of the weekend. If nothing else, for the shock of the weekend. Seattle on the road. Are they on the road or are they at home?
No, at home.
Seattle was at home.
Seattle. They're wearing the Bruce Lee kit, so I thought they were away. Seattle won. Kansas City 2. That is bottom of the league, Kansas City, to you, ladies and gentlemen, showing up when no one expected them. Dead last of the league. Teal, what number win was this for Kansas City?
A breadstick, number one.
My
breadstick.
And what a win on the road to Seattle.
I mean, this is the league. Yeah. This is what I love about this league, is that this exact thing can happen. You take a team like Sporting that has Peter Vermees in the story. He's been so successful, but is it time now? A lot of pressure. You talk about hot seat. His is volcanic. And they go to Seattle and they absolutely put on a show. And, you know, they took it to a team that at home is always so dangerous. And they get a result. Now, is this something that can, you know, snowball into something more? Is this a one-off? You hope that for a team like Sporting and those Kansas City fans that they could build off this, but you never know.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is one of the most fascinating things about the MLS is that it is such a sporadic league. It's unreadable because a team like SKC that's at the bottom right now, who has historically been one of the best organizations over the last 10 to 15 years, can go to Seattle, who's top of the league, and beat them. And in all honesty, I think stun Seattle, because I don't think they went onto that field thinking, SKC is even going to score against us.
Yeah, what was it like? They had maybe 3 goals all like in their past 10 games or something like that. Granted, they last year, you know, and going into this year, they didn't have, you know, Polito and Gadi Kinda, you know, 2 of their top DPs, and now they're back and healthy. It's been a couple of games, I think. So I think that's going to help and change the game for them. But who knows?
Yeah, that was the talking point last season. Injuries, right? They're back. Yeah. To your point, they now have 5 goals this season. They had 3 coming into this match. Oh,
yeah. And I was going to say this too. Like, this is the first time all 3 DPs have been on the field at the same time this season.
That probably helps.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I had to take down my SKC training top. It got bad, guys.
Yeah,
I went full Cincy. I was like, I'm in Cincy. Let's go. Decking in the table.
We need to get a Bunbury Nashville shirt up there.
I'll send it. Give me the address. I'll send you one. Let's go.
Hey, man, easy work as we build out this studio. For that way, when Cody gets back, we're gonna have our jersey wall ready.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, look, it's funny. Every week, there's one of these, and it doesn't matter who we talk to. Teal, they're always like, "This is MLS. No other league in the world is like this." They're like, anybody can beat anybody, and every other day. So I was like, oh God, he just said it. Let me go make sure you guys aren't playing Red Bull next week or something, but you're not. You're away at DC United.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah. No, but like the parity is really crazy. That's why you have to go into these games. Like, don't have a big head, you know?
Yeah.
Like teams are going to come and
So we didn't really cover this, but like, how do you ask a manager to swap shirts with Rooney? Like, he's the most.
That's a good one. Teal, do you want to find out next week and let us know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
He's usually in training tops, I guess. He's in the training jacket.
Hey, Waza.
Any chance I can grab your jacket?
That would be
please.
Hilarious.
Maybe your hat. Can I get your hat?
Yeah. And sign it for me. To Teal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, the last one we didn't talk about was the fact that Red Bull New York, they sacked their manager as well, which means we had 2 sackings on the weekend. Gerhard Struber and the rest of his coaching staff are gone.
They fired the whole staff.
It says the leadership team. Yeah, and the rest of the leadership team. So here's where it gets a little tricky. And this is from MLS website. Charles Boehm's article says it wasn't exactly a firing, nor was it really a resignation, according to New York Red Bull's head of sport, Jochen Schneider. He says, quote, Jochen says, it's an ongoing process that you evaluate. Where are we? How do we play? How do we perform? We couldn't be happy with the outcome. And he just said, we came to the decision now after the Philly game together with Gerhard that we need to do something, but they actually don't know what it was.
Wait, what? So did they sack him or no?
They will not say. They said he's not sacked and he didn't resign, but they're making a change.
This is the problem, I think. That right there, that's interesting. I don't know. Then
negotiating an exit package potentially.
Maybe that's a good point. Could be. I don't know how many years he had.
Get it together before you go to the media. Jack is back, says 9. The Red Bulls have 9 points through 11 matches this season. Their fewest at this stage since 2009, the last time they failed to make the playoffs. Wow. They're making the change, Cody. It's I'm going to keep scanning, but it's I don't know. Red Bull, New York, they're in the Red Bull family, essentially. Do you feel like that club's run a little bit differently since it's like them and NYCFC are in the Manchester City Football Group?
Yes and no. I know, just through the grapevine, until you might have heard some of this, about Caden Clark, how there was an agreement for Caden, who was obviously at Red Bull Salzburg. No, Red Bull. Where was he?
I don't know.
Salzburg.
Yeah. He's in the Red Bull family, and whatever team he signed with wouldn't allow him to go to any other MLS club except Red Bull New York or New York Red Bull. And it's okay. It's very interesting. I know they've also sent other players from Salzburg or whatever it might be to New York. Is it an advantage? I mean, is New York City being a part of the Manchester City family an advantage? I don't know. Do you really see that many players coming over from those big name clubs that often?
Yeah, I don't really know many, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I bet it can help in it should help in scouting and, funding to an extent. And
I hate to be that guy, but it totally helps with financial doping. I'm a big soccer business guy, and there's a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Of course, that aspect. So it's got to help.
So Troy Lesesny, I'm sorry, butchering that, has been named the new head coach for the rest of the season. Was an assistant, and he was hired as an assistant by the Austrian coach who was there. Before that, he was 3 years in charge of USL, so he was an assistant for 1 season. And now he's the head coach of an MLS franchise. So opportunity for him to make a splash. They said he's interim. He's going to be here through the end of the season. We will eventually start our search for a new kind of permanent head coach. But I tell you what, it is a little bit interesting to, I don't know, just to see how it all works. They always love to say the Red Bull DNA. You're kind of like, well, what is it though? Can someone help me? And MLS, like Salzburg, right? They are free flowing attack, and Erling Haaland came from there, right? Then they go usually to Germany where they play with RB Leipzig, and they're constantly challenging for Champions Leagues. Timo Werner obviously blew it up while he was there. Upamecano, center back, like that is their DNA. I guess Teal, do you see that kind of like high flying, young, aggressive play from New York Red Bull?
I think they've gotten away from it. I think when you can ask any player on, that's played in the league, whenever they played against Red Bull in years past, it's always been, hey, they're going to press you for 90 minutes. They're going to be a high pressing team. They're going to cause chaos, turnovers, and try to get to goal quick. That's their style. And, Sean Davis here, who's, came from Red Bull and was their captain, is now a teammate of mine here. He always talks about how, he just doesn't see that as much anymore. So if there is a DNA, I would say that has been their DNA, but beyond that, I don't know if it's been, that pragmatic for this season or the previous couple seasons.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. I think when I was at New England, when I was at Houston, that was, I think, very much still in their DNA. However, it has not been in their DNA as of late. They have continued to sign and play young players. However, the pressing, high octane, nonstop, work that guys like Sean Davis or even like a Alex.
Yeah.
Brought to that team a couple years ago. I don't think is there anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I tell you what, the MLS keeps it spicy. There's never a rest for some of these games. There's just a lot going on right now too, whether it's US Open Cup. Is CONCACAF Champions League still going on too?
Yeah.
I don't know when the final is. Yeah. What is it? Lyon against LAFC?
Yeah. So, but it already feels like it's been a busy start to the season, and we haven't even gotten to the mid-season tournament that's coming up. So I bit off more than I can chew, gentlemen, for this MLS podcast, but we'll get through it. It is a fun time so far.
Teal, I have two questions. First of all, what are you guys hearing about that tournament? Have you guys gotten any information? What are we hearing? Like, have you guys gotten any information
it's a whole month off? Yeah. We know, like, trying to remember who we play. We play Colorado and is it Atlas maybe?
Okay.
I got to see, but I'm pulling it up for you.
Okay, please do. Thank you. But yeah, we play it. I think it's in end of June.
And it's
supposed to be a month long.
Do you guys get to play in your markets?
It's end of July.
End of July. That's what it is. Yep. End of July. And yeah, we're playing, I think, all the games at home.
Oh.
And then we don't really know how it will progress, who we'll play next. Supposed to be, decent money. So guys are buzzing about that. And I'm, if you want to be forward thinking for this league, I think that a tournament like this could put a lot more eyes on it and more money and more sponsors and all that. So I think it's good. On the flip side, I think that if you're going to have and incorporate new tournaments, I think you need to have more roster spots on teams. I think there needs to be a whole lot more depth. The way that if we're going to start having this many more games and whatnot, I think that, and obviously, salary cap and that CBA stuff has already been negotiated, but I think that's going to be something that's going to have to be moving forward is going to have to change.
Did you have any idea this was coming in the last CBA a couple of years? Yeah. So Nashville, you guys are taking on Colorado and Toluca.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and you guys are at home. So clearly there's a couple of like hubs. I think we covered this. The Mexican teams are the ones traveling. They are going all over. Obviously Colorado will come to you guys too. So I wonder if they set up bases or something, but your poor sports performance teams are going to be those damn pods. They're not going to have enough time to recharge them. They're going to be like, hey man, shutting it down. Like just let them do recovery sessions.
And
it'll be
some cryo.
No training.
Cody, you've been doing cryo, you crazy.
Love a good cryotherapy session.
Me too.
Good.
Have you started? I've been, me and a few guys have started doing cold plunge early in the morning. We do 3 minutes in the cold tub before training starts.
I've heard about
it
before.
That's what they say. If you actually do it before, shocks your system, stimulates it, kind of gets you ready for.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right. So
I highly suggest that. Cryo, cold plunge, hyperbaric chamber, sunlight directly in the eyes in the morning. Obviously, don't stare straight at the sun, but try to get it in there. I'm serious.
Have you? I believe you. It's just like
you're a good caveat.
The fact that you have to say don't stare.
I have to say that because people are gonna be like, "What do you mean sunlight in your eyes?" Like,
So
I have to say that.
Look, this is the first week, gentlemen, that you might have forgotten where it's nice enough to go out without a jacket. And the sun is up early
in Minnesota.
The mood has lifted in Minnesota. I've been going on runs. I'm happier. I'm like reading on the balcony in the morning. Oh my God. I'm just like, I was talking to my wife. I was like, what? I know this is going to be fun for like 4 months, but then it's just going to go away for 7 months. Like, do you really want to do that? So Cody, you're in California. Teal, you're in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, I don't know where I got to figure something out. It might be a long winter, but this is fun. To your point, that the warm tones of the sunlight before it gets too bright, at sunrise and sunset, they do say really, really is powerful. Big Andrew Huberman guy here.
You are? I am too.
Well,
are you making fun of me?
No, I had no idea. Okay. I'm saying it. He's a super smart dude.
Peter Attia. I love him and Peter Attia.
Attia, Attia, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we won't bore everybody with this.
But, yeah. Sorry.
It just shows, being an athlete's
I'm out of the loop. TLB.
We'll talk later.
Set me up here.
Cody, you still taping your fingers all good? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Just the pinkies. That's it.
Oh, all right. Well, Teal, thanks a ton for coming on and hanging out. It's always a good time when you guys as buddies get to hang out and chat shop, which is the MLS. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I mean, would love to jump on anytime you guys want.
For sure. Awesome. And obviously, Cody, thanks for bringing Owen to the table again, helping the people live a happier, healthy life.
Yes.
Sharing the goodness. I need to send you some donuts. So can you sort me?
Yeah, I got you. We need to keep a clean sheet first. So
I got you.
Teal knows this one. Obviously, this started in New England, this tradition, and
the clean sheets, donuts.
I've carried it to every club I've played for.
Oh, really?
It hasn't been Duncan, but
no, it does. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
we're not on the.
I think it's great.
On the East Coast.
I love that. Yeah. Matt Reese started that. Yeah.
Crazy. He would. I love that about Matt Reese. What a throwback. What a deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Hey, as always, we always ask you to like and subscribe. 5-star review goes a long way to help other MLS fans find us. Teal's links in the description along with the code to Owen. So, hey, we'll be back with Match Week Tell. But until then, have a great week, everybody. Enjoy the time.